Lost media. People are obsessed with lost media, and for good reason. There's something tragic about a piece of media being created, only for all evidence of its existence to be erased. However, I'm not here to talk about that kind of lost media. There's plenty of people who do that already, believe me. I'm more interested in the media that still exists and is very accessible, but still nobody seems to know about it. The media that is lost in the eyes of pop culture. But luckily for you guys, I know everything there is to know about all media ever. This stuff may be kinda hidden, but I've dug it up to share with you. I'm Ash, and this is Ash's Buried Cash. A quick disclaimer before we begin. I am not a movie critic, and this is not a movie review. This is more of an improvised rant, sort of in the style of Wyatt Duncan's Serenity video, where he just talks about the plot of the movie. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the plot of the movie we're talking about today, which is Shorts by Robert Rodriguez. Now, Robert Rodriguez has made quite a few movies. He's famous for the Spy Kids movies and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, all of which have been jeered, memed, and mocked on the internet for as long as I can remember.
He ruined my dream journal! I did not!
But Shorts isn't. No one talks about Shorts. No one even knows Shorts. You go to Spotify, the Shorts soundtrack isn't there. So why isn't this movie well known? Why isn't this movie memed? Because let me tell you, it deserves to be memed. Let's start from the beginning. But what is the beginning?
Oh, buddy, where do I begin?
With a movie like Shorts, it's hard to say. You see, the gimmick of Shorts is that it's split up into 5 parts that are told out of order. So where should I begin? Should I start with the first part of the story? Or the first part of the movie? Or maybe I should start with the scene that happens before anything else, where 2 kids, who aren't even characters in the movie, just have a staring contest, and it's not related to the plot or anything else that happens. It's just there. Already off to a great start. I think I should just talk about this movie in order, as in the order it's presented, which is
2, 1, 4, 3, 5.
Pretty crazy, right? Pretty wacky. Anyway. Episode 2. This episode features the character Toby Thompson, who's arguably the main character. After all, the story is told from his perspective. But, he doesn't deserve to be the main character, and we'll get back to that. He lives with his family, his older sister, and his parents. None of this is relevant, and I'll probably cut this out. But he has these imaginary friends that he plays games with.
Still playing with your imaginary friends? No.
He's a total loser, basically. And he gets bullied at school, too. There's like a pack of bullies led by this girl who is the daughter of the man in charge of a company that basically runs the whole town. Black Ink is this company that basically runs the town, and it's run by this guy called Carbon Black, and he has a daughter, and she leads the bully pack. One day, as he's walking home from school, they decide to start throwing rocks at him, and it's shot like a war movie. And, like the genius he is, Toby decides to crawl up a tree to evade them, and they continue to throw rocks. One of them hits him square in the forehead, and he falls out of the tree and dies. I wish. But since the bullies know that he should be dead, they promptly flee the scene. He gets up, and he picks up the rock that hit him, and it tells him to make a wish.
Who said that?
So he wishes for friends, naturally, being the friendless loser he is. And aliens come out of the sky. And they're his friends, and his friends are the aliens. He turns the aliens into his personal slaves, making him food, cleaning his room, cleaning his teeth, shooting the bullies at school with lasers. Naturally, the last one results in some chaos, and both Toby and the bully girl, whose name is Helvetica. I neglected to mention her name was Helvetica. Both of them end up in the hospital with broken arms. That's basically that whole chapter. Next, let's move on to Chapter 1. Louie deserves to be the protagonist of this movie. Louie kicks off the story. Louie's actions basically fuel it. Okay, that's a lie. But still, Louie never tried to shoot lasers at any kids at school. Louie and his brothers, they go on a treasure hunt. They naturally start looking at the end of the rainbow, because that's where the pot of gold is, as everyone knows. But there is no pot of gold there. Instead, it's the wishing rock. It's the rock from before. They learn that it's a wishing rock, and Louie wishes for a castle surrounded by a canyon filled with crocodiles and snakes. And then the brothers start fighting over the rock.
Wish for world peace! Yeah! Let me finish my canyon of doom first!
And the rock falls in the canyon, and they have to go get it. And this is actually how the scene is shot. I did not edit this.
I think one of us has to go get it. Well, you wanted an adventure, didn't you?
Superb. Alright, they find the rock down there, but then crocodiles start attacking them, and snakes, and Louie wishes for the snakes to disappear, but he doesn't wish for the crocodiles to disappear. Why didn't he wish for the crocodiles to disappear? What the hell is happening? Instead, he wishes for something to take them away, which happens to be a pterodactyl, which takes them to the top of the castle, but then the crocodiles start climbing the tower, and then he wishes for telephonesis. And then they're like, telekinesis, you dummy! So he wishes for telekinesis, and then he uses telekinesis to throw the crocodiles away! And then they wish to go home and go everything back to normal.
Change your head back, Louie.
This has certain advantages.
What advantage?
And then they catapult the rock away, and it lands where they were throwing rocks at Toby. Possibly my favorite chapter of this movie. If it wasn't for the next one, that is. If it wasn't for the next one, that is. If it wasn't for the next one, that is. Woo boy! Chapter 4, which comes right after Chapter 1. So the chapter opens with Toby's sister going to tutor this kid named Nose. Nose lives in this house that's covered in plastic, and he's not allowed to go outside because his dad is afraid of germs. And he thinks that fresh air is, like, evil, and it's going to kill anyone who breathes it in. So they're obsessed with, like, keeping things clean and contamination and, you know, boogers.
Boogers are like fecal material.
Nose picks his nose, hence the name, and he throws his booger on his dad's desk into a machine that doesn't work right. Remember that. But somehow the rock has ended up in this kid's front yard, and Toby's sister has found it, and she's taken it inside, where Nose uses it to wish that his dad's inventions worked, which includes whatever that machine is, because it somehow turns Nose's booger into a goddamn living, breathing monster. Meanwhile, Toby and Louie have teamed up to find that rock, and they know it's somewhere near Nose's house, so they break into his house in the middle of the night, and he eats that and so they have the rock in the house, and it's better than being alone, and this is going off the rails.
Just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit. shit